Hello. Today we'll be discussing how to identify features based on tone when you are given a remotely sensed image or an aerial photograph. It also helps to distinguish between different surface features in a varied range of tone. When you open a remotely sensed image that is captured using an RGB gun, it would look something like this. These are the roads, river, agricultural plots, dense vegetative cover, urban area. When you're given a remotely sensed image, you have to identify using several cues based on shape, association, color, or tone. However, among these, tone forms one of the important elements how you can distinguish and identify a remotely sensed image. So, what is tone? Tone refers to relative brightness of an object in the image. This is how an aerial photograph, generally captured using a black and white camera, and a remotely sensed image, which is generally captured using an RGB gun, would look like. So, when you're given any of these images, how would you identify between different features and distinguish between similar type of features using tonal variation? Can you spot the difference between asphalt and concrete road? Take a help from black and white image as well. Can you spot now? Well, if you said this is an asphalt road and this is a concrete for both black and white and RGB image, you were right. Asphalt is absorptive in nature, therefore, it has a dark tone. It absorbs most of the light. However, concrete is a reflective surface, therefore, it reflects most of the light, leading to a lighter tone. Now, let's understand what's the difference between dry and wet soil. Soil in general is mostly reflective in nature. However, when moisture comes into play, it forms an important factor which influences the amount of reflectivity and absorptivity. If the soil is moist, it usually appears darker than dry soil because moist soil will absorb more light, leading it to a darker appearance, and dry soil tends to be lighter because it's more reflective. Now, looking at the image, can you identify where is the dry or the wet soil? Take a help from black and white image. Can you spot them now? Here is the wet soil region. Here is the dry soil region. Can you tell any other regions which are having dry and wet soil? Try it for yourself and let me know in the comments. Moving on, let's understand how you can identify marshland or a wetland. Marshland and a wetland forms among the most darkest region on the aerial photograph. The combination of water and dense vegetation causes them to absorb more light, giving them a deep dark appearance. My image doesn't explicitly have a marshy or a wetland, but here are some of the visual cues which you can utilize to understand and identify a marshy or a wetland region. Like this could be a marshy or a wetland. Also, this one. However, it needs a rigorous ground validation. So here is a key takeaway. If you observe a dark tone, it means it is a more absorptive surface, and lighter tone would imply a reflective surface. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Got any questions? Leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you.